Ready?
Ready?
Yep.
Can I ask you all to please stand for the pledge? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's town board meeting. It is January 24th, 2023. First item on our agenda is public hearings regarding the amend code 218-53 rumors and borders. I would ask our town clerk, Emily, to read the notice.
Notice of public hearing by the Town Board of the Town of Mount Pleasant to consider a proposed local law removing Town Code Chapter 218-53 and related or reference attachments, and adding Town Code Chapter 218-20.6 prohibiting the renting of properties for periods less than 30 days. Please take notice that the Town Board of the Town of Mount Pleasant, New York shall conduct a public hearing at the Town Hall on the 24th day of January 2023 at 7:00 p.m. to consider a proposed local law which will remove Town Code Chapter 218-53 and related or referenced attachments, and adding Town Code Chapter 218-20.6 prohibiting the renting of properties for periods of less than 30 days. Please take further notice that the proposed local law is available for review in the Town Clerk's office. Please take further notice that at the public hearing upon said proposed local law, an opportunity to be heard in regards thereto will then and there be given to those favoring passage of such proposed local law and also those opposed thereto.
Thank you. The public hearing is open. Anybody wish to speak on this topic is welcome to do so at this time. Any town board members have any questions? We did discuss this to considerable length.
Yes, I believe we discussed it.
Yes.
The town, I'll basically just say that the town board is basically against this. We do not want B&Bs. We do not like the idea of short-term rentals. So this, you could read the whole thing. It's pretty extensive. I wouldn't want Emily to have to go through this whole thing. But it does really restrict any kind of short-term rentals. And the idea is to protect our communities. So we're not looking to change the character of our communities by having all our homes becoming multifamily homes. So if there be no speakers, I'll entertain a motion to close this public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Danielle,
Second?
second by Jerry. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving on. We didn't approve it yet. We got one more resolution. Well, we'll take the approval. On the supervisor's report, the first thing we have is authorization to adopt local law 1-2023, removing town code section 218-53 and adding 218-20.6, short-term rentals prohibited.
Move for approval, please.
Motion by Lori,
Second.
second by Danielle. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all.
There you go.
Thank you.
There you go.
Next item is call for a public hearing to consider a special use permit for 871 Commerce Street. 871 Commerce Street is a building, it's actually between Commerce and Franklin. There's a dentist, there's some offices, so they're looking for a special use permit, which will be described in the application. What's the date we're going to use for this?
The next date is Tuesday, February 14th at 7:00 p.m.
Okay, February 14th at 8 p.m. Resolution 53-23 will set the public hearing for February 14th.
Move for approval, please.
Motion by Lori,
Second.
second by Jerry. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is call for a public hearing to annex 6th Wyatt Court, Pleasantville, into the town of Mount Pleasant Consolidated Sewer District. We'd also do that February 14th?
Yes. 7 p.m.
Excuse me, is it possible to speak up a little bit louder? They have muted microphones. Sometimes people don't want me to speak too loud.
Lenny, we're on, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, the public hearing will be February 14th regarding annexing 6 Wyatt Court. That's Resolution 54-23.
Move for approval, please.
Motion by Jerry,
Second.
second by Danielle. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is Purchase Order 16223-01, Annual Renewal for Building Department Software, OpenGov. This is a new software program that we have just getting into, starting doing some testing and stuff like that, but basically what it's doing is all the existing files up to a certain date are being digitized, and they'll be online, so if you need information, it'd be a lot easier to get this information by the building department will be able to bring it up on the computer and print out information instead of having to wait a week or two and go down and find it in a file somewhere. So we've been working on this for probably close to a year, and we're just about ready to go online with it. It'll also be available where you can get a permit, well, plumbing, electrical, building permits and all that, you'll be able to get online pretty soon. So this will be the annual renewal of the building department software. That's Resolution 55-23.
Move for approval, please.
Motion by Danielle,
Second.
second by Lori. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The cost of that software is $51,324. Initially, we had got a grant to help us with all the cost of digitizing all these files. So that helped considerably in offsetting the cost of this. Next item is authorization to enter into an agreement with North Wind Kennels. Every year we have to authorize a kennel where stray animals can be brought to. So we have an agreement with North Wind Kennels. Basically, a one-time flat fee of $365 per animal and $90 for unuttered or unspayed animals. Used to be, we used to pay like a flat fee of a couple $1,000, and it could have been 1 or 2 dogs. So now we changed that so it's per animal, which is a lot more economical. So this agreement with Northwind Kennels, Resolution 56-23, will authorize me to sign this and move forward.
Move for approval, please.
Motion by Jerry,
Second.
second by Lori. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We have the Receiver of Taxes report. See what kind of a interest rate. Do we have an interest rate here? Middle rate was better than it used to be, but it's not much. She doesn't have the rate on there.
No.
That's
Okay.
the,
It was like 2.5 or something like that, I believe, the last time.
Yeah, at the last meeting.
Yeah.
We have our town board minutes for December 27th, 2022. We have town board minutes for 2023 reorganizational meeting. Right now, we have business on the floor. Anybody wishing to address the board is welcome to do so at this time. All you had was you couldn't hear me?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Can you please sign in if you haven't? Okay.
Go up to the mic. The whole town wants to hear what you have to say.
Yep.
My name is Maureen Petrie. I sent you a letter the other day, and I'll leave a hard copy for everybody. I want to thank you for, passing the law about the short-term rental, because that speaks to a sensitivity about density. That's exactly what I'm here to talk about. There's an application before the planning board for 715 Sleepy Hollow Road, and in one of the alternatives for that application is right across the street from me, an attached housing unit, which is a violation of the current zoning laws. And also, I just wanted to say that my family has lived in this area for 70 years. We lived at, somebody in my family, my immediate family, has lived at 748 Sleepy Hollow Road for more than 70 years. We pay taxes. You've never seen us at a town board meeting before because we're happy with the services that the town provides. And we choose to live there with some of the inconveniences of living out of town because it's not dense. And I would like it to stay that way. I know that property will have to be probably developed in some way, but I would just say, please, try to scale it back. Try to keep the character of the neighborhood. A small cul-de-sac development would be something I think the neighbors could accept. But right now, it's like the application is trying to put 30 pounds of potatoes in a 10-pound bag. And it just feels too much. The blasting, the congestion, everything that is going to be caused by this is just too much. So I respectfully submit that the people of the town have a little bit more time to review the EEIS, and also that the scale of the development is carefully considered and scaled in. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You submitted that to the planning board, I believe, didn't you?
No, this is a new letter that I sent to everybody via
Yes.
email
Yes.
yesterday, so I'll
Yes.
just leave a hard copy.
I'll,
of
I'll
you can-
forward it to the planning board also, so they have a copy of that, right?
Wait, can I-
For their records?
it. Sure, you can.
Sure, we'll just pass it down to everyone, but I did read it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As you know, we generally, as a town board, we do not instruct the planning board on their process. We leave it up to them to go through the process.
The other two.
I think,
Oh, okay. Well, I'll just hold them all here. Okay.
I believe their meeting is Thursday.
I live at 794 Sleepy Hollow Road, which is
Your name, please?
What's your name?
Melinda
please?
Marshall.
Thank you.
We haven't lived there 70 years, but the 25 we have lived there has been wonderful in the quiet that we enjoy. And yes, we don't enjoy some of the services. We're sort of off the grid. That is what we like. What most concerns me about the density of this development, some 10 years ago, we had to drill a new well. This area, as you're probably aware, we're all on wells. We're all on basically one aquifer. We had to drill a new well at like $10,000 because we ran out of water. And it's clear to me that this kind of density is going to pull on that aquifer. We're already, I think we all share the same well guy who's already told us. He's had jobs where he's building tanks so that people can hoard water. There's not enough water. That kind of housing on our aquifer, if that's what it's going to be, I don't think we can sustain it. We're already struggling with our water supply. We had to triple the depth of our well, and that was 10 years ago. So, yes, am I really frightened by the potential for traffic congestion that would be long-term? Yes. For the view that would be impaired, yes. But I think the real issue before you as a board might be that we don't have the water to support this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Did you sign in? Thank you.
Nancy Rogers Gallaudet. I live at 816 Sleepy Hollow Road, forgetting where I live. I came before the board to speak on this item as well, but a little different angle. Two things to start. One, we had this 1,100-page DEIS dropped on the public on December 19th. So right before the holidays, essentially eliminated, 3 weeks of review between Hanukkah and Christmas, and obviously the New Year. And then the public hearing was set for February 2nd. So this leaves us less than 4 weeks to really review 1,100 pages and provide, thoughtful comment on that. So I would ask the board to step in there to encourage the planning board to give the public more time to provide public comment, and ideally a second public hearing if that's when it's really going to happen. The other thing I've been doing, and I think from our earlier meetings, I feel like I've memorized the Envision plan at this point, but which I again applaud this Envision plan. I think it's fantastic. Very detailed, very specific. So I have begun comparing the DEIS actually to the town's Envision plan, which you just approved unanimously just 10 weeks ago. So it's really fresh in my mind. And I even went through and saw where there's some slight tweaks. So again, great attention to that. And there are, however, a number of areas I've already uncovered that the proposed development, which is actually 31 homes on 11 buildable acres in the areas that we've been describing here tonight. And these are several examples of what's not aligned in this plan versus the Envision plan. For example, you all agreed, let me help this one. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
You all agreed in the Envision plan to permanently preserve important open spaces. So building 31 homes on top of excessively steep slopes, a watershed, a critical environmental area, and adjacent to a county park is threatening open space. It's not preserving it. You all agreed to, in the Envision plan, to combat sprawl by channeling appropriate scaled new development into the hamlets rather than the undeveloped portions of the town, and to preserve the character of the town's residential neighborhoods, as Maureen just pointed out. Again, 31 homes crammed into 11 buildable acres in a 1-acre zone neighborhood certainly does not achieve these goals. You all agreed in the Envision plan to make the streets safe and usable for motorists, pedestrians, and bicyclists, as well as reduce greenhouse gas emissions. 31 additional homes with at least 2 cars per house added to an area with a narrow, windy 2-lane road with no sidewalks, and it's regularly used for residents as well as people from all over Westchester walking the road and also accessing the preserve as well as the county park. That amount of density will make these streets less safe, again, against this particular Envision code. And adding 62 or more vehicles and clearing the acres of trees there that currently exist will not reduce, will actually increase greenhouse emissions. And actually the DEIS doesn't even begin to address the New York State climate change goals, which is stated also in the Envision plan. And just a couple more points. You all agreed that the Envision plan, to manage water resources prudently and connect existing fragmented habitat to create larger corridors of protected land and forest cover. So clearing a 6-acre forest and all of its carbon sequestration, blasting near excessively steep slopes, proposing attached townhouses, which again was just mentioned, perched atop these steep slopes over a reservoir does not achieve these Envision goals. So, just stepping back from it, and I still have more to review because there's 183 action steps of which many of these, if codified, would be affected. And in the scoping document, it's actually stated to take into account the Envision plan goals in the DEIS, and clearly it doesn't. The entire goal of the Envision plan is proactive conservation. Somehow, a developer has been allowed to submit plans for 31 houses on less than 11 acres in a 1-acre zone area. The planning board is allowing a builder to use I think the cluster subdivision law put 3 times as many homes on a rare piece of undeveloped land than it really should be allowed. So your stated goals in the Envision Plan, again, are very clear, very specific, and I think, really terrific in guiding the long-term development and in this town. But it's with this proposed development, the planning board in this town is actually considering a massive development, which is completely the opposite of what was unanimously voted on as our comprehensive plan. So I ask you to certainly, and I think you do this, but live up to the promises that are outlined in this approved Envision Plan as this DEIS is reviewed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you submit your analysis, your comparison? I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Did you sign in?
I did sign in.
Okay,
My
thank
name
you.
is Ken Marshall, 794 Sleepy Hollow Road. Unfortunately, I have not yet had the time to go through the 1,100 pages of assessment, but I would just like to take this brief opportunity to offer a comment and perhaps a challenge to the board. And that is, on the one hand, one cannot be pro-environment and pro-density development. The two simply do not go together. The other is, and to quote one of the board members earlier, that there is not a desire to change the character of the community. Let's consider that for a moment. As my colleague Nancy Gallaudet pointed out, we're looking at squeezing in over 30 houses on 11 acres, clear-cutting land, which includes a lot of legacy growth which cannot be replaced. And this will be permanent. I would ask the board to consider in their conscience other options, other alternatives, and for ways to preserve the so-called character of the community. It is unique, it's distinctive. The original forebears had a vision of preserving it, and I would like to think if our generation can share in that desire and drive to preserve it for future generations. And I want to thank you for your time and your careful consideration. We look forward to coming back.
Thank you. Anyone else like to address the board? We're going to move on to our town clerk's report. Emily?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming. Town Clerk's Agenda, January 24th, 2023, Town Board Meeting. Public hearing to amend Town Code Chapter 218-53, Rumors and Borders to prohibit rumors, borders, and short-term rentals. Received and filed the Hawthorne Fire District oaths of office for the following: Paul Skoka, Commissioner; Lucille Capicella, District Secretary; and John Salandra, District Treasurer. The Pleasantville Fire District oaths of office for the following: John M. Cullen, Commissioner; Thomas Trudeau, Commissioner; Thomas R. Langen, Secretary, Treasurer. Pecanico Hills Fire District oaths of office for the following: Jack Algieri, Commissioner; Dana O'Brien, Secretary, Treasurer. Thornwood Fire District oath of office for the following: James B. Courtney, Commissioner. Valhalla Fire District oaths of office for the following: Michael J. Deegan, Commissioner; Kristen Ciancio, Secretary. Mount Pleasant Parks Foundation 2022 Annual Report. 5 Planning Board Resolutions. Site plan approval for 40 Sawmill River Road parking lot expansion site plan. Steep slope permit for 40 Sawmill River Road parking lot expansion site plan. The SECRA negative declaration for 40 Sawmill River Road parking lot extension site plan. The site plan approval for the dialysis clinic emergency generator at 1 Skyline Drive. Site plan approval for the Children's Corner Learning Center at 1 Skyline Drive. 3 zoning board resolutions for Biagio Labruzzo, 99 Woodlands Road, Pleasantville. Michael and Cassandra Chiaramonte, 69 Washington Place, Thornwood. And Thomas Bardsley, 401 Manhattan Avenue, Hawthorne. And 1 notice of claim, Robert Moran versus Town of Mount Pleasant.
This, item 9 would be referred to our town attorney.
Thank you.
On the topic of preserving open space, I just wanted to announce that you're familiar with, during our master plan, we talked about Elwood Avenue and what some of our thoughts were about doing on Elwood Avenue. If you may recall the Bel Paez restaurant that was on Elwood Avenue right across from the Hawthorne train station. That particular, there's 3 lots there. We were planning on selling to a developer to build a building there with rentals, basically apartment rentals. And in our discussions, we're trying to preserve some open space. We've decided, which as chairman of the IDA, I have to convince the IDA to agree with me. I have a meeting next week on this. What I want to do is preserve that space. Just put a parking area for the local businesses to use, not for commuters. And the other area where we remove the rock, that'll all be green space there, it'll be like a park area. So it will not be developed at all. So that'll be our way of preserving that area for the future for our children to appreciate. So wish me luck on my meeting with the IDA next week. Moving on to our council reports. Tom unfortunately had to go down to sunny Florida. I think, Laura, you're going to handle controllers for Tom?
Yes, I'm going to go ahead and handle the controller's memo for 12423, and this is from our controller, Brian Keneally. The first item, the attorney, Bond, Shonik and King, PLLC, Harris Beach, PLLC, for a total in this category of $29,992.66. Building Town Hall, Sign Extreme, total $1,100. Off-street parking, New York State Department of Transportation, total $2,690. Central Garage, Corsi Tire, New York Incorporated, 6 tires for the Pleasantville ambulance, which is very important, $1,879.92. Public Safety, Goosetown Communications and Corsi Tire, New York, for police department cars, total $6,787.48. Safety Inspection, Certified Elevator Inspections Incorporated, total $4,950. Youth Programs, Scott Dooley, an enrichment program, Phys Ed Games, total $2,849. Planning Board, Cleary Consulting, Project Administration, total $1,000. Highway Machinery, again, tires from Corsi Tire, and Power Plan, Jesco, John Deere Power Plan, $2,935 for that. And a service call, the total for the Highway Machinery category is $8,215.44. Capital Building Improvement, OLA Consulting Engineers for HVAC in the Town Hall, total $2,400. Capital Kensico Road, RJG Electrical Contracting LLC, total $538. Capital Improvement Machinery and Equipment, Goosetown Communications, total $3,164. Recreation Capital Project, Charles A. Manganero for design of the Whittier Drive Storm System, total $34,802.50. Capital Consolidated Sewer District Improvement, Aqua Works for Whittier Drive, total $365,589.69. Capital Improvements for Joint Water District, Badger Meter, and Kensico Capital Projects, total $17,430. Excuse me, let's go back there. Capital Joint Water District Badger Meter was a total of $17,280, and Kensico Capital Projects for Charles A. Manganero for tank piping modification and rehabilitation of 2 elevated water tanks that we have here in town, $17,430. Water's expensive, as you can imagine. Special Drainage District, Chemung Supply Corporation, total $10,462. Mount Pleasant Consolidated Water District, Kinsley Group Incorporated, and Peckham Industries, Wingdale Materials, total $1,183.60. Joint Water District Fund, Peckham Industries, again, Wingdale Materials, once again, total $1,077.90. Pecanico Water District Number 1, Charles A. Manganero, Kinsley Group, and Lowe's Electric, total $5,832.24. Kensico Water, Ross Valve Manufacturing Company Incorporated, the City of New York DEP for permits, Badger Meter, PVS Mini Bulk, and Westchester County Department Labs and Research, for a total of $42,247.98. Trust and Agency Escrow, there are 9 invoices from Cleary Consulting for a total of $4,875. The grand total of this week's comptroller's memo is $566,347.41. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Lori,
Second?
second by Jerry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Now the bills will be paid.
And like Lori said, it's amazing how much is involved with water.
Yes.
It comes down free, but then we got to pay for it. Councilwoman Zeno.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good evening, residents of Mount Pleasant, fellow board members. My report tonight comes from our police department. My first item is purchase order 30-23-01. This is an annual agreement for Event Tide Logging Recorder. The vendor is Goosetown Communications. This is a yearly rental agreement. There will be 2 semi-annual payments of $4,050 each for a total of $8,100. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Danielle,
Second?
second by Jerry. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. My second item is purchase order 30-23-02. This is an annual maintenance fee for our police department computer software. This time of year, all these annual agreements have to be renewed. The vendor is Tritech Software Systems, and this will cover the entire year of 2023. Total cost is $32,026.88. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Danielle,
Second?
second by Lori. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Next item, also from our police department, is purchase order 30-23-03. These are for police vehicles. Vendor is Chevrolet Smithtown. There will be 2 2023 Chevy Tahoes. Cost is $48,994 each. Total cost is $97,988. This is specs and quotes for the PD vehicles under the BOCES state contract pricing.
You can pay taxes on that? Sales tax?
No. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Danielle,
Second?
second by Jerry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
My next item comes from Chief Oliva. This is authorization to promote Detective Benjamin Spindler to first grade detective, effective January 25th, 2023, per PBA contract. Detective Spindler has been with the police department since January of 2009. He was promoted to second grade detective on July 14th, 2021. He has been assigned to the youth division and has done an outstanding job. Based on his performance and abilities, the chief respectfully requests Detective Benjamin Spindler be promoted to first grade detective effective January 25th, 2023. Again, salary will be per the PBA contract. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Danielle,
Second?
second by Lori. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That's an officer who definitely deserves this
Recognition. promotion.
recommendation. Yeah.
Absolutely, and congratulations to
Yep.
Detective Spindler. My last item from our police chief is authorization to extend conditional offer of employment to police officer candidate effective January 23rd, 2023. The police department is seeking to fill the third and final position to fill a vacancy created by the school resource officer assignments. A candidate has been interviewed and selected. He will need to complete additional screening exams and currently resides in Hawthorne and has passed an extensive background screening. The chief respectively requests a conditional offer of employment effective January 23rd, 2023, so he may continue the screening process. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Danielle,
Second?
second by Jerry. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
Thank you. That's all that I have this evening.
Thank you. Councilman Shulman.
Yes, good evening. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor, fellow board members, residents of town Mount Pleasant. My report this evening is from the Parks and Recreation. My first resolution is by Mr. Petrucelli. Purchase order 70-23-05, annual tank inspection. Is the authorization to hire PCI, Professional Consulting LLC, to perform the annual inspection and provide a report for the two 500-gallon sodium hypochlorite tanks at the pool complex. This inspection is required to meet Westchester County and NYSDEC regulations. And again, the vendor is Professional Consulting LLC. Total cost $2,700. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Jerry,
Second?
second by Lori. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Second item this evening is purchase order, this is from John Petrucelli again, from the Parks Department. Purchase order 70-23-09. This is a John Deere X758. The vendor is Deere and Company. This is a John Deere 758 tractor with cab, mower deck, snow blower attachment, and plow. Our one we're replacing is very old, and it's going to be needed, I think, in the next day.
Possibly tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow. Total cost is $26,895.51, and this price is per the New York State contract. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Jerry,
Second?
second by Danielle. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
My next item again is from John Petrucelli from the Parks Department. Purchase order 70-23-11. This is a 2023 Chevy Bolt EUV. The vendor is North Shore Chevrolet. Again, this is a Chevy Bolt electric vehicle. Let me see, our current vehicle has 192,000 miles on it. So this is, and he's replacing, this is prices per BOCES purchasing contract. And again, we'll replace an existing recreation vehicle. Move for approval, please. Oh, I'm sorry, the price is $33,589.
Motion by Jerry,
Second?
second by Lori. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
My next item is again from John Petrucelli. This is purchase order 70-23-12. This is a Honda pump. This is, a vendor is Argento and Sons, and it is a Honda WT30 heavy duty pump. Cost is $1,799. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Jerry,
Second?
second by Danielle. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The next authorization is actually for 4 purchase orders, but this is from Liz Lencellato, our recreation supervisor. It's authorization to approve 4 purchase orders for camp trips. So it's the 4 are 70-23-06, 70-23-07, 70-23-08, and 70-23-09. 2023-10. And this is again requested to approve the following purchase orders for camp trips, which are Boundless Adventures Camp Trip, the Castle Fun Center Camp Trip, Lake Compound Summer Camp Trip, and Splashdown Camp Trip. They all sound great. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Jerry,
Second?
second by Danielle. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I just have two quick announcements from our Recreation Supervisor, Mr. Doug Scott. First is the Recreation Department is still accepting applications for lifeguards and camp positions. I love talking about summer. Number two, registration is open for our February break camp at the community center for grades K through 5. If you have any questions, please call the Recreation Department. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You know, we talk about environment, it's been brought up tonight by a couple of people in regards to the environment. Town of Mount Pleasant has done a number of things. You've seen our solar panels in the parking area on some of our buildings. Electric vehicles we have charging stations. We've done a lot. All our lighting in town, the streetlights have all been changed to LED. We save about $200,000 a year just on electricity by doing that, which benefits all of us taxpayers. So just so you know, the town of Mount Pleasant does look at trying to be environmentally conscious.
Oh, yeah.
And the building, we're
Yes.
going through a big energy thing with this building is upgrading the heating, air conditioning, windows and doors, lighting. I think they did all the lighting in here already. It's more the LED lighting types, got rid of the old type. Obviously, it's like 1/3 the cost to operate, and they last a lot longer than the old type lighting. But I have to say, this board is really looking after environmentally sensitive issues and trying to do our part. Just to let you know, yeah, I don't
Thank
always
you.
see you here, so I'd like to let you know that some of the things we do in this town. Moving on to Councilwoman Smalley.
Good evening. This is my new assignment, my second time reading for the Highway Department. So the first item is from Richard Benkley, Superintendent of Highways. It's Purchase Order 50-23-04, salt per the New York State contract, and that contract number is PC 69474. The total quantity of road salt would be 600 tons at $81.93 per ton. The fuel adjustment is .08 per ton. The cost per ton then becomes $81.85. The total amount for 600 tons is $49,110. We certainly hope we don't need it, however, we might. I just wanted to read a disclaimer. The total cost on the final invoice may vary from the total cost listed on the purchase order due to lower or higher tonnage upon delivery and/or an increase in the fuel surcharge at the time of delivery. The highway superintendent and the comptroller have both agreed to allow up to a 10% increase on the total cost for this purchase order in the event that the tonnage and/or the fuel surcharge exceed the intended amount upon receipt of the final invoice issued for payment. It's a reflection of the highway department needing an item, road salt, in regard to keep the roads safe, but it's also a reflection of how we are under the gun with inflation, even on something as simple as road salt. I also wanted to add, and I'm sorry to editorialize this evening, but I've spoken to the highway superintendent, and if you remember in years past, you would see lines on some of the town roads, and that was a brining solution that was put out before a storm would hit. That was found to create more potholes because that brine would actually seep into the surface. So we've gone back to road salt, and in the hopes that that will melt whatever ice and snow comes and keep the roads safe. So, in regard to this, I ask for approval for the expenditure of $49,110, please. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Lori,
Second?
second by Jerry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I don't want to approve it because I don't want to have to need it.
Oh, I'm sorry, oh, you
If
don't
we
want to...
approve it, then the snow comes.
Oh, my goodness, we hope not. The second item again is from Richard Benquit, Superintendent of Highways, Purchase Order 50-25-05, guardrails for various locations. This is American Timber and Steel Company Incorporated. The total is 500 feet of steel-backed timber guardrail with all the associated hardware used on projects throughout the town. The amount as per the quote is $28,661.24. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Lori,
Second?
second by Jerry. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The next item is a street opening permit, please. The work performed under the following street opening permit has been completed and the road restored to the satisfaction of the highway superintendent. Please forward this to the Office of the Comptroller for release of the bond. The street opening permit was number 6421 for TKL Home Builders Incorporated for the bond amount of $8,000. The work was performed at 280 Pythian Avenue in Hawthorne. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Lori,
Second?
second by Danielle. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. One more, authorization to deposit a bond for a street opening permit number 6427. A check covering the bond amount for the following street opening permit has been forwarded to the Office of the Comptroller for deposit in the escrow account until the work being performed under the bond has been completed and the road restored to the satisfaction of the highway superintendent. Street opening permit number 6427. The name is Velardo Site Management Incorporated. The bond amount is $6,000. The work being performed at 21 Cleveland Street in Valhalla. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Lori,
Second?
second by Jerry. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. One short announcement. Tomorrow evening, we'll be having the second Narcan training class, sponsored by the town of Mount Pleasant and conducted under the auspices of the County of Westchester. Registration for this event has closed. Unfortunately, we are very glad to see that 35 participants will come out tomorrow evening. Detective Ben Spindler will be with us. He addresses any concerns that the audience might have into youthful activity that we see here in town. We are a wonderful town, but we're not exempt from any of the plagues of the rest of the world and the rest of the country. Narcan is a substance used to reverse the effects of a fentanyl or any kind of narcotic overdose. So this will be the second training session we have. If we hear from the public that they'd like more, I will go ahead and ask the health department, with the approval of the supervisor and the town board, to be able to hold more sessions. So please know that we are moving forward to keep everyone in town safe in this area. Thank you.
Thank you. Just a point of interest, you probably noticed that there wasn't much argument over approving things this evening. But you're welcome to attend a work session anytime where we do discuss these items. We don't think it's beneficial to the public to sit here and argue over ideas in the public. And we do hash out a lot of things at our work sessions to try to come to a sensible conclusion. So I don't want you to think that everything is just rubber stamped here. It's not. We're just trying to do the right thing for everyone. Just a reminder, the second half of school tax is due by January 31st. We don't get any of that money that goes to the school, just so you know. But we collect it for the school, that's about it. Town attorney, Chris, I don't think we have anything.
No, nothing
legally?
from our office this evening.
We save money then, huh? Our schedule of meetings, work session Tuesday, February 7th at 7 p.m. Our business session will be Tuesday, February 14th at 7 p.m. If there be no further discussion, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Lori,
Second?
second by Danielle. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for
Have a
coming
good
this
night.
evening.
Thanks for coming. Enjoy your evening.